Okay, and Ashton got a word. What's going on, everybody? It is World Manhood TV special Royal Wednesday episode. This last week, yesterday, I was really busy, so we made Royal Wednesday live for today. I want to go ahead and make you aware that the next two episodes will be the last two episodes of season one as we gear up for the conclusion of the first season of World Manhood TV. The love and support has been great, and I'm going to make this announcement several times since nobody's watching just yet. I usually play music, but my music is not lined up yet. So yeah, give me a second, and obviously BJ Kicks is here, and we're live.
We are live. I just set up a second screen, so excuse me if I'm looking off to the side. I'm all over the place right now.
Appraisal Nation got you setting up screens now.
Well, I had two screens for a minute, but when I stopped making music full time, I didn't really need them. So I just got back to it. So I put a TV over here where my beat machine is, and so when I'm making beats, I'll put my beat making software on the TV so I can see it while I'm working over there.
True stuff.
Did you already put out a link? I'll tweet it.
I'm putting it out now. I'm running so behind on stuff, man. I started grad school this week, and the very first day I had work due on Wednesday, and I said, "Yo,
grad school." You thought you was gonna read the syllabus the first week?
Yeah. To be honest, I really thought it was gonna be chill the first week, but nah. I got an essay due on Sunday. I'm like, man,
that's how it goes, man. What class you taking?
Strategic marketing is the first one. The other one is media communications and technologies, and then I'm doing a graduate writing class. So I pretty much have no social life.
Makes sense.
Where is my John about to get a call from me in a minute.
Just wanted to be wanted. Just wanted to be wanted. Told Pops that I left him, I was only 9. Thirsty for attention from the water fountain. Should've probably handed him a 40 ounce. I only said it once, but who really counting? Just a little bit of man who would've knew. Teachers saw the march when I went to school. Mine told me.
Good evening to those that are watching right now. This is the special Royal Wednesday. Let me turn this music down so I think you can hear me. This is special Royal Wednesday episode. As of last week, I could not be on. Nobody could be on last week because of busy schedules, and then I couldn't be on yesterday. Okay, Kicks just said they can't hear us.
Can you hear me? I don't know, unless you put it on mute or something.
All right, so one person already told me that they can't hear me. To anybody else that's watching, if you cannot hear me, tweet me, text me, DM me, whatever, because the devil want to play tonight, and I ain't got time for this. I've had a rough month. I've been tired all month. I ain't got time for this.
All right. So what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we talking about this picture that I saw in reference to same-sex marriage, and it was just a blasphemous image of homosexuals or those who are homosexual persuasion, uh, defacing Jesus, some dressing up as Jesus and having the opposite, not the opposite sex, the same sex kissing on Jesus. That's what we're talking about, number one. Number two, we're talking about women proposing to men, uh, this new crave, this new dance wave that we got going on here. And then we're talking about the state of manhood as well. We're going to try to jam pack all of that in an hour and a half. Uh, as I'm still trying to figure out if everybody still can't hear me or not, or hear us. Okay, audio is fine. Okay, cool. I don't know where John is at. Um, Obviously, he's a busy man as well. He has a wife and a kid that he has to tend to. So I'm going to suspect that he is currently doing that. So with the 5 years we have in Mr. BJ Kicks, this is the first time doing a one-on-one session. So it's going to sound like that I'm giving you an interview, but I'm not giving you an interview, Brandon.
I'm an important person, bro. Don't try to play me like that.
You are an important person, especially for this show. So we're gonna try to have some type of dialogue here, and I just pray it just goes well. So,
cool.
First things first, to everybody that's watching, again, I want to fill you in. This is the Royal Wednesday episode. Everything for the past couple of weeks has just been coming ahead strong at us. That's life. That's what happens. So we couldn't do it last week or the week before then that we were trying to do it. And then this past Tuesday, I knew that my schedule was going to be jam-packed. I didn't get home till like 11 o'clock. So, yeah. But we're here, and we're live. And this is the first of three more episodes. This is the first of 3 episodes. This is one of the 3 episodes. We got 2 more after this. I think I'm doing it right. We got 2 more after this before our season 1 finale. I am LA Nelson. That's BJ Kicks. So, Kicks, I don't know if you saw the picture I put up on Instagram, but if you want to give thoughts, the Supreme Court ruling of same-sex marriage. I thought about actually, I wasn't going to address it simply because I'm just tired of everything. A part of me was getting this I don't care type of attitude, but I think I should care about the issue at hand or the situation at hand. And so I thought about talking about it. Now, to those viewers out there who are watching, this is a show where I want everybody, well, Kicks is the only one here, to express whatever they feel, to not feel like they are bombarded by any type of rules or regulations. This ain't TNT, this ain't CBS, this ain't ABC. Nobody gets fired for saying something wrong. So, Kicks, if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns of not only the Supreme Court ruling or the picture, and I will, if nobody else has seen the picture, I will make sure to tweet it out right now. You guys can join in the conversation by using the hashtag Royal Manhood TV hashtag, and also you can ask us questions, give us your comments, and we'll read on air.
Okay, so I'm looking at this picture right now, and overall, it's just a lot, bro. It's a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not really easily offended in that way. I feel like, I don't know. I hope everybody who's listening or watching can see this picture. I don't know. Let's try. So basically, like, you've got this. Obviously, is there some sort of gay pride parade, or maybe just a celebration when people went out into the streets after the Supreme Court ruling. And I guess kind of as a we got you to certain Christian activists or whatever. These people are dressed up as Jesus and are putting Jesus in all sorts of compromising positions. Like, you got guys kissing guys that look like Jesus and girls. That's a lot. It's just a lot. Long story short, it doesn't really, I shouldn't say it doesn't bother me, but I mean, obviously no one wants to feel like, the God they worship or serve is being, mocked, right?
Yes.
But I guess I come from the understanding that these are just people. Who knows? These people might be mad at God, but I feel like these people are just mad at other people, Because how often does someone who is gay or lesbian have to hear derogatory statements toward them all the time? Like I see all the time people are getting compared to pedophiles and they're gonna take over our children. Like it's a lot. People talk about gay people like they used to talk about black people. And I shouldn't say used to. I mean that's still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And overall I just feel like there's a lot that goes on both sides. Like I'm happily married to a woman and that's really all I care about. You know what I'm saying? I care that the people that I know or the people that I'm around that I influence every day, I care that they're, living a life that is reflective of what, I try to teach them. But ultimately that's not on me. I don't want people to be like me. If you say you want to be like God, then, do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not for me to tell you what you're supposed to do unless we have that type of relationship. And that's how I've always felt about that. Overall, I mean, like I said, this is a lot. I feel like, we're not going to be as outraged as say someone who's a Muslim, where they're drawing pictures of the Prophet Muhammad, but it's along the same lines. It's just certain lines shouldn't be crossed. And I think that's definitely a line that should not have been crossed.
Definitely. Definitely. For me, when I saw the picture, I can't even say it left a bad taste in my mouth. Uh, Simply because there's two sides of the spectrum for me. It's one understanding that uh, that Christ is being mocked in that certain fashion because of the way Christians have handled the situation of homosexuality and same-sex marriage. It's always been judgmental and has always been offensive, um, and so to one end, it's almost like, well, though this sucks and we hate seeing this, but really, can we blame them? Um, because at the end of the day, we treated as Christians, and I'm speaking to us as a whole because we are the body and we're all one. As Christians, we have developed this decorum of uh, of an attitude about homosexuality, uh, like that's just the one evil or the one sin that is so like off the grid that that's the one sin that's going to send you to hell, and we've created that stigma about ourselves. Uh, oh Lord, we lost two viewers, so I guess okay. Anyway, um, but yeah, it we've created this stigma about ourselves that says, you know, just because uh, you are someone uh, who portrays themselves as a homosexual. I can't even get the word right. Homosexual we just throw this judgment at them all the time, and we are very disobedient in God by not loving them correctly and loving them like the way we do, like the way we should. So that's one side of the spectrum that says, okay, can we really blame them for that? But at the same time, it's like, well, as a Christian, as somebody who lives out this walk and somebody who strives to love everybody, this pisses me off. And then it kind of makes me mad at the believers who actually are judgmental toward those who are displayed in this picture or anybody else outside of it, because it's almost like we're doing a terrible job, um, and we're not doing what God is really telling us to do. Yes, I understand for anybody that may be out there who may say that it's okay for us to judge. Um, my only big thing is that if the lights were put onto your darkest sin that nobody knows about, would it be okay to judge then? Uh, if not, then I don't think we can really continue to use the fact that, well, though it says don't judge, don't though it says we can't give judgment, we can give judgment righteously. I don't think anybody in their right mind would love to sit in front of a stadium packed arena and watch everything they've done wrong or everything that they're doing wrong, all their thoughts right now displayed onto a jumbotron, I would run and hide. Like, I'd, or I would have to go to a whole different country after that, because that would be totally embarrassing. So I don't think anybody wants to do that. As far as the Supreme Court ruling, I'm not surprised, simply because uh, we saw this coming with the many states that went ahead and legalized it anyway. So the fact that it happened is just like, okay, well, it happened. It was bound to happen. I like it. If nobody saw this coming, I'm wondering what news outlet you watched, or what world you've been living in. And I understand that maybe you were just surprised and shocked simply because of the fact that you may hold yourself in a high regard, or you have your certain beliefs, and you didn't think America would turn this way. Well, we didn't think seven churches will burn down within a week either, but it happened. So we're gonna touch on that in a moment too. We'll touch on that a little bit, but yeah, I'm not surprised to those that probably within this week have shown the unChristlikeness about everything. I'll go out on a limb and say this, and I tweeted it before. I think that the Supreme Court ruling and everything that we're seeing now, God is allowing. I can go to the Bible and even tell you all of that on the evil that goes on in our world. If he didn't allow it, then there wouldn't even be a need for him in the first place. So I think he's allowed it. He's allowing it for a specific purpose, a specific reason. But I think it's our duty more and more every single day to love on those people, regardless of how we feel about it. When I went to Atlanta a couple weeks ago during our session, the men's conference session, one of the big things that I took out of it was that throughout, no matter how I feel, no matter how stressed out I am, no matter how hard life gets, I can't allow my feelings and emotions be impacted by, or I can't allow my emotions impact the way I love somebody, or the way I carry myself and uphold that Christian standard. It's okay for me to be upset. It's okay for me to be mad, but God has called me to love on everybody. And just because I'm not feeling it one day, that's just not a good thing. So yeah, if you got anything, Kicks, to expound on the Supreme Court ruling, you can go ahead, man.
I don't really have much to add to that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that the Supreme Court ruled the way they did. The law is written that way. I don't quite get the argument that a lot of Christians have that because we're Christian and because most of us are Christians, then the law should reflect Christian values. That's not the way our country was formed. That's not what it was founded on, and that's not what the Constitution says. So we're talking about the right for someone to do wrong.
Right.
We all have that right. No one was making this big push when somebody decided to regulate cigarettes. We don't boycott the ABC store. Maybe somebody should, but I don't think so. I don't think our job is to police other people. Our job is to keep ourselves on the path that we've, pledged to be on. So me knowing you as a person, if you're telling me, oh, I'm trying to be like Jesus and da 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 da, and I see you going, to the club Saturday night, doing the wet t-shirt contest or whatever. And I'm like, hey, bro, I don't think you're just there for the chicken wings. Maybe we need to, you all right? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this. But I'm not about to be outside the club every weekend with a sign like y'all all going to hell, because that's not my job.
Right.
And so as far as the Supreme Court ruling, I don't disagree with it. I don't think, all of a sudden the floodgates are going to open and we're going to be the new Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, people really put on this whole news story. They go crazy with it. I'm like, if you remember the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, there was it was quite the process before the city was burned.
Right.
Abraham goes back and forth to God, like, all right, if there's only 100 righteous men, if there's only 10 righteous men, there were none. If we're as righteous as we say we are, we don't have anything to worry about. But I don't get why that seems to be missed all the time. I think it's just like with anything else. We like to put a magnifying glass over everybody else's problems so that no one's looking at ours. And I don't really have time to be watching what y'all do.
Yeah, I feel you. It's becoming a major, I guess a major thing. Especially, I think one thing you hit on that we were kind of talking about yesterday on social media, obviously, was the fact that every time something big happens, we are quick to say that Jesus is coming back like tomorrow. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, okay, they've been saying Jesus is coming back tomorrow since the road to Damascus or David and Goliath. Like, you know how long they've been saying this statement. Nothing's new under the sun, obviously. I don't think Jesus is coming back tomorrow, and this rent got to get paid. So therefore, I believe that he's coming back. It just ain't going to be tomorrow, or it's not going to be 2 days from now. There's still a lot that needs to happen before that goes on. So everybody that's watching, if you got your bags packed, unpack your bags. You still got to go to work tomorrow because, like, I want, and I don't want to take this into a whole different direction, but I'm just make the statement and we can go to the next thing. But I want us to, I know we get so caught up in our biblical knowledge. We get so caught up in the word, and we get hungry about it and thirst about it. And that's great. I'm not knocking that because I definitely agree that you should be in your word. But the whole trying to calculate when he's coming, the whole looking out for red moons every night, that's becoming a little bit thick, a little bit too thick for me. Simply because he comes like the thief in the night. Anyway, so if you're gonna sit there and watch, like, you might miss your shot, dog. You might want to just go to sleep and let him come, like when he wants to come. He gonna come when he wants. He said no. Why did you stop me like that? Anyway, but yeah, he will come when he wants to come, and that's just the end all be all. So I'm not about to sit and calculate when he gonna come. I'm not about to sit and I want him to come back. Some days I wish he would come back like that day, that moment, whenever I'm going through something. Just come back, let's just go. But obviously, he's hitting the grace button on us a lot. I don't think he didn't come back that last week when y'all thought about it. He didn't come back last month. He didn't come back last year. We still here. And we still got a role to do on this earth to live like him, to worship him in this arena, and to show the whole entire world that we can be Christians, we can live like Christ, and let him get his glory. Because trying to calculate and pinpoint whatever and being that you're correct will only give you your glory, and that's just not gonna happen. Anyway, next situation. So the black churches that have been out of nowhere, and we're gonna talk about South Carolina, the Charleston 9 right now for a good brief moment because we still got like an hour to go. I think his name was, I don't even care for his name. Dude that shot up the church, took 9 lives. That's strong out of nowhere, and I believe that he got people behind him. But after that one moment, it just back to back within weeks, churches have been burnt down. Nobody knows who's been burning them. Some people even said it's not arson; it just happened that way. But I disagree. I think they're happening on purpose, and they are strategically happening. I don't know if anybody watches the show The Following, but if you do watch the show The Following, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's some type of cult going on. Obviously, we could say that's a Ku Klux Klan. Again, these things haven't been proven, but Dylan, that's his name. Dylan's his name.
His name is
Yeah,
Dylan. Elliott. Who says Dylan?
Dylan. I don't care for his name.
Dylan.
Every time I saw the name, I thought about Dylan from the band. So, but yeah, nobody knows what these who's destroying these black churches. And it's obviously, this is what sparked the whole debate that Jesus is coming back tomorrow. Is the fact that the churches are being burnt down, which is not an indication. But
I mean, churches have been burnt for a long time. That's nothing new. People didn't just start burning churches in 2015.
Look, man, that's just what happens. So yeah, if you want to give your thoughts, Kicks, first on the whole Charleston 9 situation, him wanting to start a race war, and who in the heck is burning down these churches? Because I'm sick of it.
Listen, man. Now the burning churches, is that like a valid thing? Because the reason I asked, I've only seen it on Twitter. I haven't seen it on the news. Not to say that things don't happen that aren't on the news, but is this like a documented thing, or somebody just put up a spreadsheet like with some churches' names and say, "Oh, they burning churches. Y'all being distracted right now."
I think there's been a couple that have been on the news. I think the most recent one that I've seen on the news, period, was the one in South Carolina, not the Charleston 9 one, but it was another church that apparently was burnt down 50 years ago already. I hope I have my facts straight. Y'all can correct me on that if y'all want to. I really don't care.
It's all good. I just put it in a good old Google search.
Yeah, so
you'll have to excuse me. I live my life kind of insulated from the rest of society. If I don't want to be involved in social media, I don't be up there. So I have no idea what's going on sometimes.
It's all good, man. So yeah, and obviously I'm a social media guy and want to be a social media marketer. So that's why I'm always up there. But yeah, those things, there have been a couple that have been legitimate. Obviously, there are other ones that have been floating around on Twitter, but they've been coming from news outlets. CNN's not reporting it. Obviously, it took CNN so long to actually report the Charleston 9 shooting. So I don't really kind of depend on them to actually report a fact quickly for anybody that's African American. But again, I want to start no problems up here when it comes to the media and anything like that. But yeah, if you look that up, or if you're still looking at it, I'll go ahead and just give my take on it. I don't know who burning the churches. I don't know who's doing it, but I am tired of it. I think, to be honest, I'm just totally tired of the racial thing, period. Like, it's been so much of a struggle the past 3 years or so. Like, it's amplified so much this year alone. We can't catch a break for more than a month. It just seems like every single time we get over something and we calm down and we become friends again, then we become haters again. We don't like each other again. It's just not good. It's not good for anybody's health. But obviously, I don't know if these 7 viewers know anybody that is actually burning the churches. But if you do, make sure they get turned in, man, because like, burning churches to me is a sacred ground, despite of it being just a building or anything. Despite what you feel, anywhere to be honest, anywhere the presence of God is sacred to me. But the fact that we can't even worship in these places anymore without having to watch our back is quite scary to me. Well, and I go to a multicultural church, so to me, it's kind of, the argument could be null and void, but at the same time, it's been happening to black churches a lot, and I feel bad about them. So that's just my take on it, man. Like, I just want people to be able to worship in a safe environment now. Going to church and worshiping used to be the safest environment ever, but now it's almost like, yo, should I even go to church anymore on Sundays to get refilled? Can I even do that now? Like, what's the thing about that? So Brandon, if you got something, go ahead, man.
Got you. I'm sitting reading while you're talking. I got like 3 different articles up right now. Different ones reporting different things about these churches being burned. But seems like the consensus is that there are 5 to 6 church fires being investigated from the past week, almost none of them are being investigated as like acts of arson, though there are some people who are saying that they believe it was an act of vandalism in certain cases. They're kind of spread, but looks like 2 in North Carolina, the rest in South Carolina. North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Ohio, and Tennessee. That's a really, so obviously I don't think that's one person just traveling and, burning churches, but that's really interesting. But I mean, just to kind of piggyback off what you said, I do believe, any place of worship should be a safe place, whether that's a mosque, a temple, a synagogue, a church. There are some places, some things that should just be off limits, just like we don't sell liquor on Sundays. There some things I feel like you should just have a respect line for, and for whatever reason we don't. And that's crazy. Because I would hate, to just be in church one day, somebody decide they want to jump bad and just, end it there.
Right.
And worse if it's just me that goes and my daughter and my wife are left behind, and that's something they have to sort through while they're still on earth. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. The idea that something like that could happen, during something as innocent as Sunday service or Tuesday night Bible study, it's scary. But at the same time, like I was saying, it's not new. There's some things that we should always be prepared for, and as we believe, as long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, whatever time, God decides to end our lives, we're good. It's not really the end. It's just the beginning of something else.
Right.
So I don't worry about death in that way, but really just how much does that measure into heartache on the side of my family? That's a lot to worry about. I can't worry about it. I hope they catch whoever is doing this. If it's just a coincidence, that's a really that's odd. I don't think that's just coincidence. But
no, they're all
like you said,
they're all strategically like within the same area of the Charleston 9 shooting, like from South Carolina to North Carolina to Georgia to Tennessee, like
Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Ohio.
Okay, Ohio's way over there, but
the rest of them are like just down the eastern seaboard. But that's I don't know, the way they're writing the article is like they can't be related. It's just a funny coincidence, but I don't know. If it turns out they are, there's really not enough information here to really make a determination. But if it turns out they are all related, that's disheartening, and that's a lot. But I think it's just, I don't think it's just this big mass, we're gonna burn all the churches. I think it's a guy or a group of people, that are planning this out and that are just working. Like we're gonna see how far we can go, just like a serial killer.
Right. True stuff. To those that are still watching, you guys can feel free to engage with us on Twitter by using the hashtag Royal Manhood TV. Give us your thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, what have you. We'll try to read them on here. Now we're going to get to the meat of the actual show, which was the State of Manhood, and should women propose to men? Those are the two big things. I also want to shout out to Golden State Warriors that didn't get a chance to do that. Congratulations on the NBA championship. LeBron just could not do it at the end, unfortunately, but I think they'll win it next year. And I hope Dwayne Wade stays in Miami because if he doesn't, then I'm probably going to slit my wrist or something. I'm joking, guys. There's been this trending thing around Twitter, around social media, around the entire world of women proposing to men. I I think we went over this last year when we seen some girl proposing to her man in the club. Um, Now, some girl proposes to her man like at a car wash or something. I can't. All I remember was a car or something. I can't remember. It might not have been a car wash. I just remember a car, and it just like I was already offended. Not even. Well, yeah. I feel like it's disrespectful for me, but I'll go ahead and get my thoughts on it in case you can have the floor after that. About women proposing to men. Yeah, no. Um, That's just my opinion. I don't like, I know a lot of people who will probably be like, well, the generations are changing, culture's changing, it's 2015, you need to be more open-minded and different. Yeah. If a girl proposes to me off gate, I'm getting you off of whatever knee that you own, and I'm telling you to take this ring back because I'm not about to do it with you. I'm probably gonna laugh because nobody, no, in my opinion, again, no man in their right mind should allow their women to propose to them. But obviously, the past couple of occurrences, we see that there are two dudes who are totally fine with it and totally fine with saying yes to these questions. I don't know exactly what's stirring these type of decisions from women in general, or from some women, because a lot of women I know are like, no, like the man don't propose to me, then it's just not happening. Um, but there are some who feel like they should be forward and take that next step. Uh, in my opinion, and I keep saying in my opinion so that everybody knows that this is just me. I don't want to put this on anybody. But for me, as far as manhood is concerned, if the dude want to marry you, he gonna marry you, and he gonna put a ring on your finger, and he has like there's null and void, like nothing you can do that can change that. You could say, I want to propose to you. If he don't say no, you got a problem. But then that's just me. I would totally have a problem. I would feel disrespected, and I would feel emasculated at the fact that you just proposed to me. But yeah, Kicks, go ahead.
I mean, let's be real. My wife proposed to me. I was playing, but nah.
I was about to say, wait, what? That's not how I remember it. But go ahead.
I mean, nah. Let's be real. Like they throw the hints forever. It's not like they don't expect it. Mm-hmm. By the time you propose, you done been ring shopping. She done been like, oh, when we get married, we're gonna buy a house over here. Like at least that's how it was with me. She was surprised, but it didn't just come out of nowhere. She had no idea I'd bought the ring. She had no idea when it was going to happen, even though it was quite the day. We actually, it was the 4th of July, 2013. So almost 2 years ago now when I proposed. To be honest with you though, that's something I wanted to do. I think the first time I saw a girl proposing to a dude, back when Love and Hip Hop at first came on, I think before that, yeah. Jim Jones had the TV show, and I used to watch that. Mm-hmm. It was Jim Jones and his girl, right? She was like Oprah. But anyway, she I guess at the season finale, she decided she was going to propose to him. And I was just like, that's odd. I've never seen that before. How's that going to work out? And I don't even remember. I don't think he even said yes. I don't remember. But I don't know. I couldn't imagine myself being put in that situation for a girl to get on her knee and be like, hey, will you marry me? Like, that's a lot. That's way too much. Like, if your girl got to do all that, you obviously not doing something right. Right. Because I feel like your girl should either know that it's coming and it's coming soon, or she should know that you're not trying to do that. And she's got to be okay with one of those. I think by the time a girl decides to propose, she's just desperate. Yeah. And that's your fault as the man. You know what I'm saying? Your girl shouldn't be starving for attention to the point where she got to buy you a ring to wonder if you're going to be serious. That's a lot. But I mean, I guess that all depends on what you want out of your relationship. I mean, there's all sorts of different arguments for or against traditional gender roles, right? I mean, you in a same-sex relationship, which one of you has to propose? Like me and my wife were talking about it the other day. Like There, like right now in North Carolina, there's not like a same-sex license. So when you get married, somebody has to be the husband and somebody has to be the wife. Like, how do you decide that if y'all both the same gender? You know, so I don't know if things are being blurred that way. You know, maybe it's not so surprising that a girl would decide to propose to her man. I'm sorry, I just can't respect that though. I mean, I'm a grown man. Like, I'm gonna handle my business, and I think that's just a part of handling your business. Your girl shouldn't have to propose to you. That's too far.
Okay, so here's a question: Is men or the lack of men who aren't proposing and allowing their women to propose to them, is that because of a fear of commitment, uh, you think, or like what exactly is that? Is there something internally inside of them that's just saying they just fear commitment, or they're probably even fearful of even asking the question? Is that possibly the case?
But I don't think anybody's afraid of commitment, right? There's not a commitment phobia. I think people are just selfish, right? Like, because when you decide to be in a committed relationship, I mean, it's just that you commit yourself to that one person, you know, and y'all might have one of those open relationships where y'all invite all types of people. I can't do all that. That's a lot to keep up with. I can't do it. So for someone, you know, who might be in their sexual prime or whatever you want to call that, you know, when you out there and exploring and stuff, to ask them to give up the opportunity to be with 5 girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the reality of being with one, that could be a lot, you know. And what's real is you most likely are not going to end up with 5 girls. You just like having the option. That's how I was, you know. Like, I was never really the type to be with more than one girl at a time, but I love knowing that if this girl says no, I can call this girl, right? And I think everybody likes that. I mean, as a guy, you know, that's kind of the way we're conditioned. You know, you make things happen. You know, you never take no for an answer. I guess maybe an extreme to that would be, you know, rape and sexual violence. But, you know, on the quote unquote playful side, you know, you got your starting 5, you got your lineup, you know. So to ask a man to give up his lineup, and a lot of times what it is the people, when I was in relationships, I wasn't in relationships with people that I really needed to be in relationships with. You know, it was kind of just something to do. So we're not talking about, you know, oh, I got the good girl at home and I'm messing with all these skeezers. It was, I mean, nah, they all whatever. I have different girls for different things, whatever, you know. But once I got with my wife, who happened to be best friends for a long time prior to, it just kind of was like, hey, I have all of these things, all of these women in one package. Not all of these women, but all the benefits from being with 17 girls with the convenience of being with one. And it was a no-brainer for me. And I found out over time, the more energy I put into my woman, the more energy she puts back into me. And this can be a mutual benefit to us. And I haven't looked back, you know what I'm saying? That's just real. But I feel like, yeah, to answer your question, the reason dudes are lollygagging is because they think they have options. They think there's something better out there that they're going to miss out on by committing to that one girl.
Right, definitely.
And some people just think, you know, my bad. Some people just think it's better the way it is. You know, if we're cool without being married and without throwing the drama in there of we have to live together, whatever, then why mess up a good thing? Because maybe they haven't seen a marriage that works, or, you know, maybe that's probably it. Most likely you just haven't seen something that works. So you're just like, well, my mother never married her dude, you know, or my grandma has her boyfriend. They've been together for 58 years. So why not? You know, but for me, it made a lot more sense to be married. I want my woman, I want my daughters, I want our children to all have the same name. I want to have something that if I pass away, I can leave my property to them. You know, I want it to be just simple that way. And for me, it's about building a legacy. And I can't build a legacy if everybody in my house has a different name. So That's where I'm at.
Uh, when it comes to women proposing to men, the question, another question that came up was that are women proposing to men uh, simply because they're tired of waiting? Because if we totally real, us when it comes to dudes, we can really be just ladies. If you're watching, I'm telling you right now, sometimes we not all the way right in the head. I try to be right in the head as much as possible, but I can be a little crazy sometimes too. Um, and sometimes, you know, in our conditioning, and this does not make any excuses or anything like that, but we can take our precious little time with things because we think it's just gonna be here. Like, I'm a good dude. I do this, that, and the third for. I'm just gonna go ahead and lollygag and drag this thing on, because she not going nowhere. So to that extent, to that realm, is it should we be surprised when a woman proposes to a man simply because she's been waiting forever, and since he's not going to step up to the plate, then she should.
Oh, that's not a plate for a woman to step up to, though. Like
I agree.
But I mean, I guess that's why. Like I said, I feel like that's a desperation move. At the point where a woman decides she has to propose to her man in order for herself to get a ring or to get married or whatever, she should know that relationship's done, yo. Like that's if he not paying attention to you now, you putting him out there and putting a ring on him is not gonna, rein him in. If that man don't want to be married, he's not gonna be married, whether y'all got legal documents or not. He's not gonna act like it. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that could be part of it, but I think a lot of it also has to do with this new independent woman philosophy that's going around. Like, oh, I don't need a man, or I can do everything a man can do. If you can drive a stick shift, I can drive a stick shift. Or if you can wear pants, I can wear pants, or whatever. I don't care if a woman wears pants, but you can go out and get the money. I'll go out and get the money and pay the bills. You can sit at home and watch the kids. Like, I don't know, and I feel like, as black men, we get the brunt of that a lot. For one, a lot of us are in jail, and there's a whole lot more of us that just still ain't really worth much, even if we're not in jail. So those of us who are trying to handle business, those of us who are doing what we got to do, we deal with a lot of women who never had men in their lives. So they had to build up this thick outer layer of skin, like, oh, you're not going to hurt me. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. We got to deal with all the attitude and the neck rolling and whatever, just for a woman that really just needs us. That's all they need. That's all,
Yeah.
If a woman's proposing to you, it's because she wants you, but a lot of times that's not what we get from a woman. What we get is, oh, you're not doing enough. You're not stepping up. If I'm doing all this, you need to be doing this too. You need to be doing even more. Whatever. It's a lot. But so I think it's both of those things. The women are impatient, and women want to be men at the same time.
At the same time, I'm sorry. To those who are watching right now, go ahead and give us your comments on the whole women proposing to men. Go ahead and tweet it out. Or if you want to, no, just tweet it out. Matter of fact, I forgot we got a little chat thing too.
I was looking at that little chat thing. I don't think it's working this time.
Oh, really?
But nah, I mean, but for real though, like y'all tweet out #Royal Manhood TV, because me and Elliot talking back and forth is about to be over real quick. We don't really disagree all that often, so.
Yeah,
please throw something in there.
Yeah, because John, who is the one that has a whole lot to say, he can go on for a good 30 minutes, is our time filler for the most part. So I'm trying to give y'all something. BJ is trying to give y'all something too, but hopefully maybe John will pop up like in a minute. But anyway, #Royal Manhood TV. Give us your comments on women proposing to men. We're going to get into the topic of the state of manhood. I wanted to do this one. We may do a part 2 as well, because of the simple fact that even take church aside, there is a lack of men, one, wanting to be men, standing up and being men, and being who God called them to be, as leadership, as being in leadership roles and positions, and leading their communities, leading their families, leading their homes. Um, but it's just a lot that I see, uh, from men in general, where it's like we had this lackadaisical mindset where we don't want to do nothing. We want everything to come to us. We don't have a go getter mentality. We just want to be, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Spoon fed everything. We want somebody to give us handouts. The reason why I started Royal Manhood TV, or Royal Manhood in general, in a broad aspect, is because I felt I felt an actual burden, per se, um, in my heart. I can't stand to see, one, men not living up to their full potential, but also two, I can't stand to see women constantly say, for lack of a better word or lack of a better terminology, that dudes ain't uh, dudes ain't shit. Okay, I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing that. So anytime I hear that, and I haven't cussed in a while, so when you hear me cuss, is it's pretty real. Um, but in hearing that, and hearing those type of statements, and hearing those type of phrases from women, it gets tiring. You want to help so many women out, but you can't because you can only have one anyway, uh, and you want to. For me, for me as an example, I have a big heart, and so hearing those statements like that, I'm like, no, all dudes ain't shit. Like they're not all that bad, but they are. A lot of them are that bad, and this is the reality we live in. So I wanted to do something in a larger spectrum, because not only even that in a nutshell, but there's just not enough men empowerment anymore. We have a lot of women empowerment, and not saying women don't need empowerment. Yes, great job. Like, keep the women empowerment going, whatever. But we got more men telling women what they should do, how they should dress, how they should act, and not men telling men what to do, how men should be, how men should act. Uh, I love Steve Harvey. He's somebody to look up to when it comes to hosting, but at the same time, dude don't ever say nothing about the men. He just puts it off all to the women and say, "Hey, you need to act like a lady and think like a man, and then you can get a man." Like, doesn't make sense to me. So, with all that said, man, um, starting off, how do you feel about where manhood is now, currently in 2015, uh, and where do you believe we should be at this point?
I'm one of those dudes that didn't really grow up with a whole bunch of men around. Not in my house. My parents divorced when I was 10, 11. So when it was time for me to start learning, the manhood lessons, I didn't really have that. So for me, it's been this journey to, I'm married now, so I have a father-in-law. I've got, my stepdad, although, I don't know. So for me, it's still, I think I'm slowly learning that I'm never going to have like a perfect example, right? Like and not meaning perfect that the person is perfect, but the situation is perfect. Because the ideal is that you grow up with your father, whether you're a woman, a man, whatever. You grow up with your father. Your father teaches you either how to be a man or how a man should treat you. And he does that by how he interacts with you and how he interacts with your mother. And like I said, I'm slowly coming to the realization that no matter how many role models I have, no matter how many people I talk to, that's an experience that I missed out on, right? So it's doubly important for me to, surround myself with the right types of people, and also make sure I'm filling myself with the right types of things. If all I'm doing is watching Love and Hip Hop, maybe I don't end up being the best man, right? So that's that's kind of where I'm at as far as the state of manhood. I can't really tell you. You know, I feel like manhood is definitely something that's been under attack for a long time. Because I mean, to take out any society or civilization, you have to attack the man. You know, that's not new. That's not something that's unique to blackness either. I think we bear the brunt of it because we as people are not really, you know, all that high on the totem pole. We're the ones that are kind of looked down on. So we hear a lot of nonsense about ourselves, whether we believe that or not. You know, it's there. So we get these negative images, and we kind of become these self-fulfilling prophecies that, oh, black men aren't doing this and black men aren't doing that, and you're not being fathers, and you're not providing for your families, you don't have families, you can't stay out of jail, pull your damn pants up, like the list goes on. But just as a whole, I feel like manhood is definitely it's becoming more and more vital that we as men do what we're supposed to do. You know, I never felt stronger as a man than I did when I finally decided to, you know, really start looking at my Bible, really start understanding where I come from, right? Just this past weekend, I don't want to get too personal, but I was at my mother's house and we were talking about my dad and what sorts of things went into her decision to divorce him, as well as where he is in life now. And, you know, I'm talking about this and I like to joke about a lot of things. So I'm laughing, but inside it's like, this isn't cool, you know, because when I stop to think about it, I'm like, wow, this is who I come from. You know, people say I walk just like this dude. So what if one day I end up being just like this dude? You know, that's not cool for me. So it's so important that I don't find my identity in the man that came before me. You know, I have to find my identity in who God says I am and not who anyone else can compare me to. Whether that's, you know, Jay-Z or Young Thug or whatever black dude you saw on TV last night, or if it's my own dad, my own brother. You know, I can't live my life hoping that I'm a good version of you or a better version of you. You know, I have to be the best version of me. And the way I found that has been, you know, through Jesus, you know, and that's me. But yeah, as far as the state of manhood, I haven't evaluated it like that. You know, I don't know if the state of our union is strong. I think we have all the tools that we need to be successful as men.
Right.
And for me, a passion of mine is not just black men, but making sure us as general, as black people, we have access to the tools we need. We have access to the idea that I can do anything I set my mind to. You know, that whatever my dreams are, I can make them reality. You know, whether that's through the arts, whether that's I want to be a rocket scientist, it's possible. You know, but the only way it's going to happen is if we go out there and get it. If you tell me you want to be an NBA player, yeah, you can be an NBA player. I'm not going to tell you, oh, no, you can't do that. Only 5 people will ever go to NBA out of college. No, if you want to be an NBA player, I'm going to say, all right, cool. It's hard work, and this is what you have to do. Either you're willing to do that or you're not. And I feel like a lot of times as black people, we don't hear that. We just hear, oh, you can't do it because you don't have enough money. You're not from the right neighborhood. You're not the right skin color. You don't have the right clothes. So with that being said, one of my passions is teaching people I shouldn't say teaching people, but helping to show people what's beautiful about themselves. And that's something I had to learn for me. What's beautiful about me is I can create. I'm very artistic. And if we stick to, you know, telling ourselves what's great about ourselves, as opposed to telling ourselves we can't do it, or telling each other we can't do it, then we'll be a lot better off because of it.
True. I agree. And sitting here, I guess my story is a little different simply because I come from a 2-parent household. My dad's been in my life all my life. I've known his leadership in the home as what it is. The little backdrop of my dad. My dad's from Ghana, West Africa. So yes, I am specifically African American because I was born in America. My mom is American, so straight up African American, no joke. Um, and so in that, my dad, when he came to America, about a good 30 years ago, he came to America when he's 23. Um, in that, he has told me many different stories about how he's had to, the culture shift from Africa to America was a big step for him, a big leap, and a big culture shock for him. Because he's used to things being done a certain way. And so he had to, go to school. He was doing 2, 3 jobs. And then on top of that, at age, let's see, I'm 24, 29, 28, my
Carried the
dad got carried it to. Age 28, my dad got married. And so he has him being that dedicated and devoted to not only his education, but also being a hardworking man, and then also having to tack on being a husband at age 28. 5 years of you being an American, you end up getting married like that. Some dudes can't even keep a girl for longer than 6 months. Um, I don't know why I said that. I thought it was pretty funny, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he has shown a big portion to me of what a man or what a real man should look like. And that's not to say that my identity is found in him. I still believe that though he has given me the right example, he's been the most prominent leader I've known and somebody I look up to. I still find my identity in something else. In me becoming the man of myself, I've had to learn how to make my mistakes, and also learn from those mistakes as well, because he can't protect me and guard me for the rest of his life. I'm saying all this to say, I think when it comes to state of manhood, there's many different stories. There's many men who have not had that father figure in their life, who who's giving them that example, that leadership example, that manhood example that's needed. There's some people that have that in their home, and there are some people who have a dad in their life or have a father figure in their life, but he's silent. He's not there. He's not teaching their children. He's just sitting on the couch every Sunday drinking beer while the kids and the wife goes to church. So I think there's a big need for more men to stand up and be men. I always say this to, well, I can't remember who was the last person I was talking to this, but I believe I remember. I know somebody who just got married and married a woman who already had a child, much like Mr. Kicks here, and the fact that you're able to even step into a situation like that and marry the woman of your dreams and be able to take care of a child and actually take that child as your own, that's a huge step for even a man who didn't even have a father figure in his life, or who ended up his mom ended up divorcing his father. So in that, I think there's more of that needed. There's more of that needed in the communities and our homes. I don't think manhood is something that is so. Some people would think that it's easy, but it's not. It's not. In my own experience and in living on my own for the past couple of years, I've had to find that out the hard way. That it's not as easy as it seems. It comes easy with time. My dad has put a good 29 years in as a husband, and 24 uh, 24 years in would be raising me, and now my sister, what, 15. So like he just now is saying that it's starting to get a little easier when you had to deal with the culture, the changing of cultures and everything. So in that, I think manhood is a very complex thing, and I think it's something that uh, it can't be learned from a book. I can tell you everything about Jesus and how he is the big example of what manhood should look like. But even in you reading it, you're not going to be able to really grasp it until you actually start living it. Um, and most guys, and we can talk about that now. Why guys do not really want to, or some guys are maybe lazy, or some guys don't want to affect that type of change in their community, or why they just totally disregard the leadership position all in general. But yeah, I think there's just a big need for it, man. I think it's so complex, and in that you just got to start living it. And once you start living it, it starts to flow. Like some things you just know, like, yeah, I got to get this done. There's not going to be any type of hesitation or lack or laziness about it. It's not even just about doing the hard work. It's about just understanding that in your realm of influence, and this is what I learned about manhood too, is that as a man, as a people, we all as men have a sphere of influence that we are responsible for. That God has entrusted us with. If you look at the beginning of the Bible, you see Adam. God had given Adam so many things to look over, and he even told Adam not to touch of one tree. Uh, but he gave him dominion over a lot of things in his life, and I think that's so important for us to know in 2015 now, that as a man, uh, God has entrusted to me not only this apartment, He's entrusted me to this relationship, He's entrusted me to this job, He's entrusted me to this schooling, and everything that He's entrusted me with, He's relying on me to be a good steward over it. He's relying on me to not only just be a good steward over it, but to use it for His glory, and to bring glory to Him and worship Him in that same way. I went on to a whole tangent and I forgot exactly what point I was about to make. I hate when I do that. Um, but all in all, I think for the most part, uh, men just have to get back to men. And here's the one question that I'm going to ask. It seems like there's an influx of men who aren't necessarily homosexual, who are very straight, who constantly, uh, I guess, per se, for the lack of better terms, are looking for more so joking around. But I kind of felt a burden when I continued to see a certain trend about it. More men acting like women on Vine and Instagram and all that good stuff, uh, to, I guess, promote a brand or to get a step ahead. Do we think, or do you think, that men portraying as women has some sort of effect of what manhood looks like?
Do you know? And maybe I shouldn't have such a Negro lens on my eyes, but I feel like that's a problem specifically that black men deal with. Like I don't see anybody acting like females more than we do, and I don't get it. Like Tyler Perry, as much as some people adore him, I get so tired of like seeing Medea. I'm just like, bruh, really, like you ever notice that? And not to pick on this dude, but you ever notice that Tyler Perry seems super unnatural when he's playing a man? Like,
Yeah. I was watching him with Alice Cross, and I'm like, dude, you in a fighting scene just doesn't go together.
and not even
It
just
just does
Alex
not go.
Cross, right? Like, watch the Medea movies. Tyler Perry normally plays a version of himself, and then he plays Medea, right? When Tyler Perry plays that lawyer dude, it just doesn't seem, you
Yeah,
can't believe him at all. Why can we only believe Tyler Perry as a woman? That's a problem. I
very.
mean, that's a problem, and I don't know. Some people may say, oh well, Tyler Perry's doing so much for Christians because he puts 3 lines about Jesus and there's a church scene in all his movies. But I'm just like, I don't. But that's not just Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? It seems like every black comedian has had to like dress up as a female at one time or another to get some sort of notoriety. All of them. Eddie Murphy did the Norbit movie. Martin was Big Mama. Like I don't understand why we have to play women all the time. Like there's enough black women to play black women. Like
Right.
why can't we just be us? And
Yeah.
be proud. You know what I'm saying? Like burp a little bit, whatever. But I don't know, man. That's so weird to me. Like this, and I don't know if that's just media or if that's just like society in general is really afraid of the black male still, right? I mean, and we talked about it before, but from Birth of a Nation to now, are we still under the impression that if a black man stands up for himself and says things that are indicative of him being a man, that he's a threat and he's going to rape our women, he's going to steal our children, eat, like, you know, I mean, maybe we don't have the best public figures, right? Maybe we got Chris Brown and Mike Tyson, and that's what people see for black men. Or we got R. Kelly and every other rapper of the 2000s who, if they wasn't shooting somebody, they was pouring champagne on somebody and just generally looking like brutes. Like, we just look stupid, you know? Right. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe every black dude is 50 Cent, right? To some people. But I don't understand why, in order for us to get along or to do better, we have to act like women. And not even like good women, like ghetto, terrible women, like that I would never associate myself with.
Like the ratchet kind and patting our head.
Right. Like, why we gotta be all like, what is that? What exactly does this even do? What is that? Do you know?
No, apparently, it's hard for women to actually itch the weave or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even trying to make
sense, you know, because if you have to sew the hair in, if you're moving it a lot, then maybe your track will get loose or something. But why are we wearing weave? I mean, grow your hair. I mean, if you want your hair long, just don't cut it. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. But anyway, I don't understand why we act like women, and I think that's a terrible trend that needs to just go somewhere. You know.
In a nutshell, here's a good question. Do we see a growing trend of that because of the lack of fathers in the home?
Yeah. Because there's nobody to tell you, nigga, don't put a dress on. Like that. Like, because I know for a fact, if my little brother-in-law decided he was going to go on TV and put a dress on and a little, you know, wig to get some laughs, like, my father-in-law would not be having that. He'd be like, what are you doing? Like, you have my name. You're not about to do that. And for the most part, we don't have people to tell us to put a chill button on. You know, most women are emotional. Most women want to laugh. Most women just want to have a good time and are generally agreeable people. Not to say that women are pushovers or that women don't have backbones. But my point is, most women do not know how to be men. And no woman knows exactly how to be a man because she's not one. So I feel like a lot of times women don't have that line. That's why you see a lot of times where the guy or it's a single mom and she's got the one son and they're like best friends. And the dude clearly has like feminine tendencies and, you know, is borderline gay or is gay. And the mother is completely in denial. Like, oh, no, we just friends and we just ha, 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 ha. Like, there's never a line that says, hey, maybe you shouldn't wear those pants. Or maybe you shouldn't hang out with girls all the time. Maybe you should have some friends that are dudes. Like, because that's not what women are about generally. And I think that's a problem. Like, I don't get it. But, yeah. Oh, shoot. It says, okay, men, contrary to popular belief, women don't wear weave because they're bald-headed. I feel you. You got the right to put on whatever. That's what somebody's tweet to us. And I mean, that's true. My aunt owned a weave shop, so I actually know a lot about weave. But I used to work at the weave shop that she owned while I was in college. And some women just want, because I mean, you can buy short weaves, you can buy long weaves, you can buy curly weaves. Sometimes you put your hair in a weave to protect your actual hair. there's a lot of different women a lot of different reasons that women wear weave. But still, this whole thing is still never attractive. I can't do it. But my bad.
Yeah, I don't know too much about weave. I just know about my hair and that it just won't grow no more to any other type of length. So that's really the main thing I'm trying to get right now. But yeah, to echo off of what you said though, I do think that that the lack of men in the homes has something to do with the onslaught of men who decide to portray themselves as women on social media. Um, I want to talk about the black church and well, not even the black church, but the church in general and manhood. But I think we're gonna do a part two, and we're gonna let John get in on that because really want to hear his thoughts on manhood. There are other things that are about manhood though, not just the fact that dudes portray themselves as women just to get laughs. But it's funny though when you look at stuff like that, those dudes that act like women or to on videos or on Instagram or Vine or even our comedians, they get a lot of women. And so a lot of women just enjoy that for some reason. So to the ladies out there, I'm asking you this question, and VJ, you can if you have any thoughts on it. Um, what is it? I understand that women are attracted to funny dudes, and that's cool. I'm a funny guy myself, and so I know that realm. But when I don't know the realm of a dude acting like a woman because I don't do that. Uh, why is it that women are attracted to that, uh, and why? Well, Kicks, you wouldn't know why, but
I have no idea. Like, because if I just walked in the room and started acting like a girl, like my wife would be like, "Okay, you do that too well. What's going on?"
right.
Like, I don't live in a world where that's okay. So I don't have the answer. I couldn't tell you. I'm done with these weave wars, though. I'm done with it. Like,
Hey, back to the weave thing, man. Look, we weren't trying to come at nobody weave though. Like we we just express that you tap your head a lot when it's itching. It's cool. Like if that's what it is, then that's what it is.
I mean,
I just
you can wear a weave and nobody even knows you wearing a weave. My issue is like, why do black men on TV have to be like weave patting, gum popping, ratchet ghetto girls on TV all the time? That was my point. Nothing against y'all wearing hair that's not your own. You know, nobody said you wanted to be European and da da da. I mean, yes, weaves originated in ancient Egypt and don't always reflect the inability to grow your own hair, but a style choice. Kudos to you. Knowledge, know thyself. I appreciate it. But
yeah, half the time I don't even know when a girl got a weave on or not. Um, and y'all are really quick to point out like, oh my god, her track's falling down. I'm like, what track? I don't see. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, the little piece of hair that's falling out there. Okay, let me get off this topic before there's a whole war in my mentions about that. But at this point in time, case we almost made it to 9:30, man. We still got a lot to say about manhood. However, since we're coming down to the last two episodes, I thought of a wonderful idea. We're gonna extend the last two episodes. It's just talking about manhood and what it should look like and where the whole manhood thing is going. I'm gonna get some more guys up here because there's no telling if John is like in a boat drowning or something. Like he never texts me back.
In a boat drowning.
I don't know where he's at. He could be lost. I'm praying for him. Ashton's at work. Hopefully next time we have an episode, he won't be at work and he can actually show up. And y'all can tell him I talked about him. Congratulations to him on his promotion though, because he did get a promotion. I got some guys that I can bring up here that's probably gonna shake this thing up a little bit more. But you feel free to ask your questions. I know all season I said, ladies, you can ask your questions to the men if you have questions for us. But nobody asks us questions except for that one time when it was asked like how much skin is too much skin. Um, and we talked about that. So y'all give us some questions, man. We wanna end with some questions. It's been a hard couple of weeks, so excuse the I guess the amount of conversation that we kind of did not have because we weren't really we were prepared, but I wasn't prepared for just me and Kicks tonight. I thought it was gonna be a full house, so it's kind of bothering me. So yeah, ask us
Let's get
questions.
back.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna get back to the Twitter commentary. We still got weave wars going on. So, but okay. Somebody said I don't have a weave and I tap. You don't want flakes popping up.
Okay.
Listen, bro. If I don't know, because if your scalp is dry and dirty, or both, like flakes are gonna pop up whether you tapping your head or not. But that's another story. Um, Ambria says women like to laugh, and it's just that simple. It's funny because it's true, and you can relate sometimes or know someone like that. That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Some of the best comedy is like, let's just talk about ourselves and laugh at ourselves. I can see that. It's just that's odd to me though that like what was the video? The She Ratchet dudes, and all the girls were singing the song, and then they were like, "Oh, he's so cute," and da 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 da. And I'm just like, that's kind of odd because this dude is clearly a woman right now, and he's a woman, and you like that. Do you like women, or I don't? So I don't know. I don't think that these girls are attracted to the dudes because they look like women or they're acting like women. I think it's just a girl can appreciate a man's ability to make her laugh.
Right.
That's the only way I can justify it.
Yeah.
Still doesn't take away from the fact that it shouldn't be that 80% of us have to look like or dress and act like women in order to get some kind of attention. That's the problem. Let's see. This girl said, "It's funny, but if my dude was doing it, nah, bro, I'd have to punch him in his chest."
Yeah, no, I would expect to be punched in the chest. But that's
yeah, I would too. If you need a perm, you pat. Don't want to agitate the scalp.
Yo, Ash killing me with this pat thing. She not offering.
She's really like the pat technician. Like she's telling you all the different ways. Like you pat in a circle. I don't know, bro, because I'm natural. I don't get perms or nothing, so I couldn't tell you.
Make fun, but okay. So in patting though, I don't even know why this turned into this, but this is a good time filler. In patting though, like why got to be a pat with the gum like smacking everywhere though? Like every video I've seen, it's been a girl doing that or a dude acting like a girl doing that. Why is it the stigma that there's a pat and then you got to smack on the gum though? Like that's just. Why does that go?
My wife smacks gum, but she doesn't wear weave and she doesn't pat. It's like smacking just like a girl thing? Like why?
I don't know. This is
why do y'all do
that? This is why this is a man show and not a would you marry a woman who proposed to you? That was the question to me. Would I marry a woman who proposed to me? Oh man, that'll probably be the end of that. to be honest with you, but
there's no coming back from that.
Here's the thing: if she proposed to me, I'm like, sweetheart, like this would be the conversation. One, she proposed to me, I'm gonna look at her like she's crazy. Then I'm gonna pull her up from the ground, and if it's in front of people, we're just gonna have to go outside or go somewhere private and talk because. At this point, you have already made me look like a fool. Like, like at this point, I feel so embarrassed. You proposed to me. Now everybody in this place thinks that I can't commit to nobody. everybody in this place thinks that I don't love you. So now you've given this picture and you've emasculated me like hell. So what I'm going to do is, one, tell you to take this ring back. Two, you can further continue to wait and see if I want to marry you now, because now my mind is all discombobulated. I don't even know if I want to even marry somebody who emasculated me. Three, I I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Like I would give you a chance to redeem yourself after that, and possibly see if I can put a ring on your finger, but that would agitate me so much. Like it would. I promise you. If it agitates me when I see it on social media, I know that if it happened to me, I would flip. Totally flip out, because it's just I would not say yes to you. I would tell you no, straight up, no.
That's it. But I mean, I feel like if a woman proposes to you, she's not gonna just do that without warning. She probably done went ring shopping with the dude, just like we do with the girls. You know, she probably done be like, "Oh, babe, what if I asked you to marry me? What do you think?" Like, I that's a lot. But no, if my woman had proposed to me, that'd have been the end of it. Because what happens when? Because I mean, obviously, I'm gonna say no, right? So you done built up all this hype, and you like, "Oh, I'm about to have a fiance tonight," and then what? Tomorrow we just boyfriend and girlfriend, and we just chilling. Like, how does that work? So, and then if I do decide to propose to you later, it's only you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's only because I proposed to you first, and I had to." I don't have time for that. I can't do
I
it.
didn't even think about that. Now it becomes a competition. They're saying that, well, I'm the one that you just took too long, and I'm like, first off, I didn't take too long. I'm taking my time because I had the plan, and you kind of ruined the plan by proposing to me first. And now it's just going to be a battle between future husband and wife, or fiance. I don't think I can get all into that drama, because then you're going to tell our future kids that there was a time where I proposed to your dad and he said no. I'm like, why would you even put that in our daughter's mind? Why? And it's just going to be a whole different thing. So
don't let your boys still like be cool with you too, and like be your kid's godfather and be like, "Oh yeah, you know your daddy was he didn't even propose. Your mama proposed to your daddy." Like you would never live that down. I can't do that. I can't do it.
That's just that stigma just will be, that stamp will be on you forever. Like that's something that you can't erase. Like,
I mean, girls are so detail oriented. So if your girl did propose to you, it'd be the best proposal ever, and it'd be better than anything that you could ever come up with, right? Mm-hmm. How are you gonna top that? You gotta take the girl to Disney World and propose on top of Epcot or something. And right. I'm not doing all that.
No. She didn't. She would have recorded it, put it all on Facebook, on social media. Like, he said yes. I'm like, no, I didn't. I said no. Right. I said no.
She'd have had all your friends from like elementary school. Like, remember, you told me you knew this person, so I went and did some digging, and I found all it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a good question though. But it just can't. Like I still don't see like how dudes just feel so comfortable with that. Like they just look so chill in the pictures. Like, yo, and they're showing the ring off too. It's not even. It's a wedding band. It's not an engagement.
Bro. You can't like we not. You're not about to pull me out the barber chair, propose to me, and then have me all on Facebook like, oh look, see she. That's a lot. That's a lot. Because then I'm questioning your masculinity, period. Like, do you even want to be with this woman? Like, that's gender switching completely. That's not even like, oh, let's do something a little different from the norm. That's too far. Yeah. Too far.
I'm all for breaking rules. I'm a renegade or a rebel. Well, certain rules. I wouldn't break the law, but I'm all for breaking rules and being different. But that's just something that I can't break. Like, you can try to convince me. You can put me in front of a whiteboard and point out everybody that did it. You can even tell me Donald Trump's wife, even though he may not have a wife. I don't really care about the dude. You can even tell me that, the prominent figures who are married, their wives are the ones that propose, and I really wouldn't care. And now that my mind is on it, Zoe Saldana, her husband is taking her last name. And I'm like, that that don't okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
Saldana's a cool sounding name, but
It is, but she could have hyphenated or something. Like, why he got to take your name?
I don't know. That's
That's a
that's
different.
weird. I feel like it's a privilege to take my name, not in no arrogant way, but if you're my wife, like the because I had this conversation with somebody shortly before I got engaged, and because there was a woman who she didn't take her husband's last name. Her daughter has her husband's last name, and of course her husband has that name, but she kept her maiden name because she liked her maiden name. She wanted to identify with her parents or whatever the case may be. And I was just like, if I marry you, you become a representation of me, good or bad, and vice versa. You
Right.
know, like anybody sees Ashley, that's Mrs. Jackson. That is Brandon. You don't touch her. You don't come near that. Like that's that. You
Right.
know, and even to a different degree, it's okay. I know she must be about something because I know him, right?
Hmm.
And that's something that I value. Like if I have nothing else, I have my name, right? And so you add to my name, and we build this together. Your pops, your dad, he did what he did, and that's for your mom and his children or whatever, right? But what we got is for us, and whatever I build, if you believe in it traditionally that way, whatever I build is yours, and we know that you've helped with it because that's your name. It's just as much your legacy as it is mine. And if we got two different names, I just feel like we doing two different things altogether. We can't be unified. We don't even play for the same team.
Right.
We team Jackson over here, and that's just it. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, no weave here. I have a dry scalp, so I have to keep it moisture. Don't want oil grease all in the nails. Uh,
Listen, man. You know what? I'm a little
I'm sorry.
upset because we've been talking about you
Right.
know all
Hair.
these important topics, right? We talking about manhood and blasphemous images of Jesus and women proposing to men, and all these people want to talk about is patent weave. I don't understand it. But next time on Royal Manhood, we're gonna do the weave patent hour. And I'm gonna put a dress on and a wig. Elliot's gonna put a dress on and a wig, and we'll get all the ratings, and everybody will be watching, and
Yeah.
we'll give you what you want because clearly that's what you want. I'm not upset. I just sound that way.
Yeah. This thing. Hold on. We got some more comments. So Jasmine said,
Oh shit. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
"I look for okay. No, I think this is Lisa. I look forward to taking my husband's last name. His legacy, his reputation, his failures, his wins, etc., become mine." Um, Jasmine said, "A woman proposes to a man in a relation." No, wait, that's not her last one. Hold on. Yeah, I think if a woman feels like she can or should propose somewhere in the relationship, the man allowed that standard. Like it just doesn't come out of nowhere. That's taking role reversal way too far. Um, Ashley, who will be married in the next uh, 3 months. No, in month seven. Yeah, 3 months. The next 3 months. She said, "Do y'all realize how much work it is to change your last name?" I I don't.
I do. I do.
I
Because I
don't.
had to take my wife through the process. You got to go to like three different offices and you got to call all your credit card companies. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's also a lot to marry you. So, just playing. But nah. This girl says, "Would it not be a privilege to take your wife's last name? We could both be hyphenated. It's not that deep." Here's the problem with that. I'm not taking your last name. You didn't create that name. I'm taking your father's last name. I'm basically calling another man daddy, and
I
we
don't know
can't
why.
we can't do that because I hustled for my last name, not my first. I'm sorry. But nah, in all seriousness though, that now I become a part of your father's legacy, and that's not what we're about here. That's That's not how it goes. It doesn't say, you know, a man leaves his father and mother and goes to be with his wife's father and mother. It's us over here. That's where that is. That's why we can't be hyphenated. That's why I'm not about to be Brandon Thompson Jackson, because it doesn't make sense. Now, if you choose to, I feel like if you choose to hyphenate your name, and this is just me, but I feel like that's a slap in my face, because what you're telling me is whatever I build with you is not as good as what your father already built for himself. And you just can't let that go, because you don't think that what we're supposed to do is be better than the generation that came before us. Right. And if you don't feel that what we're doing is going to be equal to or greater than what they did, that's why you're holding on to that. And changing your name doesn't make you any less someone's child.
Right.
My father-in-law and my wife talk all the time. If there's a thunderstorm, he's calling her like, hey, are y'all safe? I don't take that as a diss to my manhood. You know what I'm saying? But what is you not respecting me enough to have my name. That's a lot.
Yeah. And if you want to get biblical too, like Bible tells us that when you get married, you leave from the care of your parents and you cleave to the one that you love.
I'm sorry. She said, if you feel like it's a lot of work, you should have proposed. I clearly proposed, but we all good. You're right. See, I don't bother nobody.
Look, listen. Right now. Anything that's said on this show, like when I took that as you joking, but right. And obviously you live in the reality that marriage is really hard work. It's not something that just is easy. But yeah, when it comes to the whole last name thing, biblically, you can see that when you get married, you leave the care of your parents and you cleave to one another and become one. And the husband becomes the leader. So it becomes God, husband, then you. So it's that's just how the diagram flows. So yeah, that would be my example for that as well. I'm not married, nowhere near married. So with that said, my last name stays the same and it's gonna always stay the same, and you gonna have to take my last name. We're gonna have a serious talk. But other than that, if anybody has any more questions, we're gonna go ahead and try to close out. John he's probably asleep. Or working.
John would have cussed y'all all up and down, like
yeah.
John.
John would have. He really would have. That low key sounded crazy. I would not marry someone who will not take my last name. I don't do hyphenated names. I don't do keeping your last name. Agreed.
You know, I could be tripping. I'm not tripping. That's old girl's fiance.
Yeah.
How y'all got opposing views? Y'all about to be married. Y'all got to work that out when y'all get home, bro.
Love you, Ashley and Germ. Can't wait to be part of the wedding. and I'm hosting. So October 10th.
Oh, you're hosting the wedding?
Yeah, I'm supposedly hosting the reception. So
that's going to be MC. We don't host weddings. We MC weddings.
Hey,
but that's what's up, bro.
Yeah, you know. Back
congratulations to the two of you guys, and I wish you all the best of luck in your marriage. It's going to be great. Marriage is amazing, and it's great to see young couples, because I'm really tired of being the youngest married person in my circle. So hats off to y'all, and I hope that goes very well. And this will be the first in many long debates y'all will have as a couple, but I'm sure you know that already.
Yeah, definitely. Y'all gonna leave BJ alone. He's the calm one out of the group. He don't bother nobody. So Audrey, am I not calm? I feel some type of way. Y'all low key sounding crazy now. That logic. Come on, Ash. Like it's that's our opinion. Ain't no daddy bit. I don't know why she said that. I can't remember what we were talking about. Ain't no daddy bit. So yeah, man. No more questions, no more comments, no concerns. We can go ahead and deuce it out. The next episode, and I promise you, guys. Well, I don't want to make any promises actually. Uh, no, we just gonna do this one on Wednesday again. How about that? Because I think I got something to do on the 14th anyway. Um, I ain't in no gang or nothing like that. I don't sell nothing like that crazy. But I do stuff at the work. But on the 15th, second Wednesday out of the month, we might just end all of them on Wednesday and just call it a day. Royal Wednesday, the season finales. Next Wednesday will be the 15th that we're on, July 15th. We're talking about manhood and the church. You definitely don't want to miss out for that. Um, Kick's got a lot of things going on. If you want to shout that out, man, I want to make sure you get your pub time. Even though a lot of people, there might be some people in Raleigh that might need some, that might be watching that need some photos or something. So,
Oh, you're right. I don't be putting my name out there, but y'all can tweet me if you need photography done. My I got a website coming soon. You can subscribe to my mailing list. I'll be doing Sunday afternoon specials each Sunday in the month of July. So be on the lookout for those. Try not to do too much because whatever. So my name is Brandon Jackson. My website is brandonjackson.co, not .com. www.brandonjackson.co. You go up there right now. You'll see a picture of 3 of my friends jumping up in the air and sign up for them. Sign up for my mailing list. You get all sorts of special discounts on prints as well as your session. I do on-location photography, weddings, events, all sorts of things. So you can holler at me if you are local to the Raleigh-Durham area, but I will travel if the price is right. Other than that, I don't have much going on that I'm ready to announce just yet. So, but I appreciate everybody for watching. And
also a disclaimer, Kicks, the couple that is getting married wanted to let you know that they don't disagree on the last name thing. She just feels very strongly that it's hard for women, and that's why her views were like that. Ashley, do not be offended. We weren't trying to offend you at all. He was just stating that it looked like there was conflicting views, but it's all good in their camp. They don't disagree on that. Those names are being changed and the monograms. She's happy to take his last name. So boom, there it is.
My bad, son. I don't mean to make it sound like it's that deep, right? I definitely understand the separation anxiety that comes with you leaving your name behind. That's literally your identity up until that point. I don't at all want to portray that it's some decision that should just be taken lightly. And the first dude to propose to you, you take his name, and it's my name or that's it. My beliefs are that, if my wife doesn't trust me enough to eventually take that step, maybe she shouldn't be my wife, right? And maybe we should push the wedding back a little bit until she gets comfortable with that. A part of deciding to, be married is that whole forsaking all others. And a lot of times that forsaking all others is really just forsaking yourself and what you're comfortable with. And that's hard to do for anyone. There are many things that I had to give up. Though I did not have to give up my name, I had to give up my identity in a certain sense in order to be married, to be the family man. I have to give up what I've done to that point as a single man, right? Like, I have my accomplishments, but I can't be that dude with all the female friends. I can't be that dude that's hanging out with XYZ person. There's a lot that each person is going to have to give up. The name is definitely a big one for women. And that should not be taken lightly. That's real. We're not crazy though. I mean,
yeah,
okay.
Apparently we're misogynistic and everything. So we're gonna end on this one because I guess it took a different toll when we started talking about weave and then name changing. It just went a whole different direction that we weren't intending. So with that being said, the 15th, we're talking about manhood and the church, and maybe we won't be misogynistic like we have been for the past 5 episodes. I'm your host, Elliot Nelson. That is Mr. BJ Kicks, John Harper. He will be here next time. I will make sure of that. And we're going to add some more. I think the last episode, we're probably going to get like a lot of dudes up here to close out the first season. I am Elliot Nelson. This is Raw Manhood TV. Shout out to BJ Kicks. We are out.
Out.